So in Breath of the Wild 2's trailer, which we all saw already, Ganondorf appears to be in an underground location somewhere. And it's pretty obvious. You know, in the same trailer, we see a zoom in on what looks like to be a dungeon. You know, which is something a ton of fans want to see return from, you know, the old games. So personally, I'd like to know how dungeons will function in this new Zelda landscape, you know, with all the new and the changed mechanics from both this new game and Breath of the Wild. And then it hit me. Maybe the entire trailer actually is the dungeon. So, you know, we look for what we recognize as traditional dungeons for confirmation, which is what I was doing myself. You know, but then I realized just how much Breath of the Wild changed the formula of the series, and, you know, maybe something familiar in name like dungeons aren't that familiar visually. Now, I think in the trailer, it's showing us exactly how dungeons will work. Breath of the Wild was about exploration and discovery, and it looks like dungeons could be getting the same treatment. You know, in Breath of the Wild 2, you could go through dungeons as a team. You know, that's why Zelda's there. And they're more vast, open, and deep than dungeons of the past, which is why you have that animal to carry supplies and such inside. I think the trailer almost showed us like a reverse of going through Ganon's castle in past games, because Ganondorf will be at the end. You know, I think you might even have to fight him there, you know, as one of the first bosses, because I don't see Link and Zelda, after Hyrule being decimated by the calamity, finding all of that, and not slapping his neck with the Master Sword if they're able to. You know, maybe they don't know who he is yet. You know what I mean? I think a decent battle will take place, and Ganondorf will leave or whatever to set up the events of the game. This might be the first dungeon in the game, maybe even like a Great Plateau type deal. If this type of dungeon exploration is the new focus, you know, we got the Great Plateau to show us how to navigate the new landscape of a Zelda game. But we played that game already, you know, maybe many times like I did. So I wouldn't be surprised if this new game starts off, or, you know, starts right after the introduction of Hyrule's new life. We get it followed by this dungeon. You know, after Breath of the Wild came out, everything was changed. Everything was different. And I just don't feel like they're gonna go into this game and make dungeons exactly like they used to be. You know, I think the same way they turned everything else upside down, they're gonna turn dungeons upside down. And we're gonna get something cool, interesting, new, fresh, sleek. You know what I mean? These dungeons aren't, you know, room to room. This seems more like something that you're exploring, you know, kind of like a real world dungeon. Like you find it, you go and you actually explore it, you know, where it's not kind of like the Sheikah areas where it was more traditional. You know, you solve puzzle, you go forward. You solve puzzle, you go forward. You know, it's not that much different from the Divine Beasts, just bigger, more vast, you know, not exactly the same, you know, it doesn't look the same with the same bosses and stuff. And also, if they use this approach, you can find different types of enemies inside, you know, making it way better than the Divine Beast ever could be. You know what I mean? But yeah, watching this trailer, and I'm like, oh wow, you can explore underground, whatever, but it didn't click to me until recently that maybe what they're exploring is the actual dungeon that they find Ganondorf's corpse or mummy or whatever that is. That's where they find it at, you know. And it seems like that would be a great start to the game to really get you to learn the new mechanics of how to traverse a Zelda dungeon, in the same way that they had you on that one piece of area that you couldn't get off of, to teach you the brand new mechanics of how to traverse the game. They taught us the mechanics of how to traverse the game already, so we know that. And you know, for new players, I'm sure they'll have something for you too. You know, I'm sure you won't just start in the dungeon, you probably have to get there, you know. And having Zelda with you makes the experience way different. And I think having the dungeons, you know, the size that you see in the trailer, if that is a dungeon, is good, because you don't feel claustrophobic with having another person with you the whole time. You know, it's airy, there's space to do things and to not feel clustered together. You know what I mean? Man, I really do believe that the trailer showed us a lot more than what meets the eye. You know, I could very well be wrong, and I could very well have no clue what I'm talking about. But this just hit me, and I needed to gather my thoughts about this in a video because reasons. You know what I mean? So go back, watch the trailer, think about what I said, and tell me 10-5. Are you out of your mind? Does this make sense? No. Or be like, yo, that actually is plausible. You know, that can make sense. Let me know in those comments if you agree, if you disagree, or if that's something that you would actually want to happen. Because if the way that the trailer was presented, of how they're exploring and stuff, was the new wave of the dungeons, I would not be opposed to it. You know, there's a lot of hidden stuff in the trailer, and I think that could be one of them. If not, good game. It is what it is. If it is, I will be pleasantly surprised. All right, so thank you guys for watching. I'll have more videos coming up, so make sure you subscribe to your boy. You know what I'm saying? Like this video if you agree, like it if you disagree, like it, do whatever. All right? Thanks for listening. Peace.